Hey, this is News at 10 on TV3 and 3FM 92.7. We're streaming live on our Facebook page and on 3FM 92.7. I'm Stephen Enti. Let me take you through the day's news highlights. To cross the white voter without life jackets. Our reporter Eva Tiboka reports the residents risk their lives while life jackets lie idle. The West Africa Examinations Council has barred some students who took part in the 2017 West African Senior School Certificate Examinations from taking part in any exams for 2 years for engaging in more practices. The council, however, says those whose subject papers or entire results were cancelled would have the opportunity to take part in either the November-December private exams or the May-June exams. And the Bank of Ghana has cautioned the public against depositing money with Men's Gold Company Limited, an investment company, because it has not been licensed to do so. Answering questions at the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Second Deputy Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama warned clients they do so at their own risks. The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Court has adjourned the case involving 13 members of the Delta Force to September 5, 2017. The prosecutor, ACP Ocheridako, told the court that although investigations have completed, there was the need to give the Attorney General time to study it for advice. Those were our major news highlights for the day. Up next is the big one. Please stay. Welcome back. Now, President Nana Akufo-Addo has extended the tenure of the Inspector General of Police, David Asante Epietu, by 2 years. Mr. Epietu, who was appointed about 7 months ago, has reached the mandatory retirement age of 60 on August 15. He was appointed to the position in an acting capacity in January, shortly after the President took oath of office on January 7. He was later confirmed as the substantive IGP after the formation of the Council of State. The extension takes his mandate up to August 5, 2019. And the Director General of the Police Public Affairs, ACP David Senanu Eklu, has confirmed the 2-year extension of the Inspector General of the Police. Speaking to TV3 early, David Eklu says the President was convinced about the innovations introduced into contemporary policing by the IGP Asante Epietu, hence the reason for his extension.
Or if you can confirm to us that the news of the extension of the tenure of the IGP for 2 years, is it indeed true?
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm glad to confirm that yes, the IGP's tenure of office has been extended for 2 years.
What exactly warranted the extension of his tenure?
The information made available to me from the Inspector General of Police office did not have any further information apart from a letter from the presidency to him saying that his tenure of office has been extended for 2 years.
He's been in office for just 7 months. It's too short a period to do any proper assessment of his performance. But has he really started anything that is worth continuing?
There are grounds for extension because he has started a very ambitious program that is transforming the Ghana Police Service into a world-class one and then the best in Africa. There are programs that have been lined up that are very promising, and the entire police service gradually warming up to this idea, the vision that he has outlined. And it would have been a great setback to the police if he does not continue this agenda, because we see it as a great stepping stone to change the police service up to the expectations of Ghanaians, that they want a service that is democratic, that is planned, and that is well coordinated to deliver protective services to the people of Ghana. And I think that it is very important and it's very significant that his tenure has been extended.
Between now and the 2 years has been given, is going to be 2019. The problems that the police is faced with in this country, is 2 years really a feasible, realistic period to transform this institution into a world-class one?
The program that he has outlined is time-bound. It's 4 years. And if we are able to continue at the pace that we have, they are very ambitious and consistent and coordinated pace, I believe that by the end of 2 years, we would have made some significant progress that Ghanaians will be satisfied with.
This is still news at 10. We'll be back with more news. Please stay with us. Welcome back to News at 10. And let me take you to Kenya. We're crossing over to Kenya to join our affiliate station, KTN, for some updates of the results trickling in from the elections in that country.
Let me bring in Yvonne Okwara-Matole on an exit poll. She has an exit poll that we carried out on Meru County. Yvonne, what do you have?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is something we thought we would do here at KTN News, and that is speak to voters after they were done with the exercise and sort of gauge what the experience was like for them. So we've not asked them who they voted for, but we've just taken a look at their experiences. This is something we're doing in conjunction with TIFA, and then we can come back to you, Linda, and you can take a look at that and see if that forms part of the conversation. So we want to start by taking a look at the voter experiences in the county of Meru. So we ask simple questions like this one. What time they arrived at the polling station? I'm sure you've seen on social media lots of people saying that they found people in the queues at 2:30 in the morning. Some people slept within the polling stations. Well, we asked the people of Meru County, and this is what they said. So no one in Meru County was at the polling center before 4 a.m. And then just a small percentage were there between 4 and 6. So it looks like the people in Meru County were not so much in a hurry, but went in when the polls opened between 6 and 7, because that's where you have a majority. So 22% of the voters in Meru County went to the polling station between 6 and 7. And of course, another big number there, 15% towards 8 o'clock, and then another 11% from 8 to 9 in the morning. So this will be interesting, especially when we're taking a look at turnout. And then, of course, you can take a look at the time bands across the day. Another 11% got to the polling station by 10 o'clock, and by 11, 14% of them had shown up. So this is an interesting one. After 12, there were still people streaming in. 11% of those who were surveyed in this exit poll, of those who participated in this exercise in Meru County. Then, of course, once you get to the poll, this was another big one, wasn't it? Remember, they were doing it in alphabetical order, the first 4 letters A to D and so on. So we asked the people of Meru County how easy it was for them to locate the queue with their name, which was alphabetical, starting with their first name. For 45%, that's almost half, said it was very easy to locate the queue which had their name, and 33% saying it was easy. Yeah, so just a small percentage of them, 2%, said they found it very difficult to locate the queue which had their name. So looking like an easy exercise for them, at least in as far as finding the right queue with their name on it. So of course the first one is, what time do you get to the polling station? And then you have to identify the queue with your name on it. And then we can take a look at the next one, because we asked them a couple of more questions. How long it took to vote from arrival time. Okay, so this is interesting. So many of them are voting within an hour of arriving at the polling center. That is 31%. And 29% took between an hour and 2. Up to 3 hours, 20% of those that voted in Meru County. And just 10% who waited over 4 hours to cast their vote.
Right, so those were updates from KTN in Kenya. Joining us on via Skype from Nairobi is Fred Wahome, who is chairman of the Kenya Computer and Forensics Science Association, is joining us. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. We're happy that you could join us. I know that the elections have been very keenly contested and watched across the world. As an IT person, I'm sure one of the basic things you would tell us about is how technology has been employed into these elections. What are your initial impressions about how IT solutions have been used for these elections?
Thank you for the opportunity. First, to get the name correct, is Kenya Cybersecurity and Forensic Association, which brings together professionals within the cybersecurity and forensics ecosystem. And briefly looking at our election today, we would say that at least the electoral body tried, because they have already implemented an electoral management system. And basically, at the level of identification, there were no problems apart from just some general issues. And also, right now we are looking at the transmissions of the results. There are also issues, small issues to do with the network connectivity, but already there has been providers, being Safaricom, Airtel, and other providers as well. And judging by the success that has already been witnessed, we can say we can give the electoral body about 80% of success.
Interesting, 80%, that's quite a lot. I know also that in elections like this, social media and the internet plays critical roles in sending the messages of the contestants to the various electorates. How will you describe the success of that as well? How social media has been used to send messages across to those electorates who are going to vote?
First, there has been a small issue concerning the bloggers, because they have actually tried to misuse the social media platform. The fact being that most people nowadays, they trust social media as source of their news in most cases. They usually visit the bloggers' pages, and unfortunately, like here in Kenya, the bloggers have not been able to do very good work in terms of awareness. And mostly they do spread propagandas, do screenshots of fake news. They're running fake blogs. So in the first instance of application of social media, bloggers failed us. But now coming on the other aspect of the awareness, at least we have seen the agents, the electoral agents, they have tried a lot in terms of awareness to the public. And also us as an association, we have actually utilized social media platform to be able to try and teach people, show them the risks that they can face, issues of how to verify if something is fake. Like we had, and whatever we are looking at in our televisions, there are issues of rejected votes, which is coming to almost 300,000 votes. And this can partly be attributed to somehow lack of awareness, because like today there was a message that was circulating whereby if you don't need, or the candidate that you don't want to vote, you put an X. At the one that you want to vote, you put a right. And you know that one, definitely when you do that, that is counted as a rejected. But all in all, we can give the electoral agency, let's say like 50% in terms of awareness to the social media platform.
And also the head of the Kenyan Electoral ICT, the ICT, the Electoral Commission, was killed last week. From your estimation, would you say this will play a major role in swinging the votes either way, and will be an issue which will be the decider?
Currently, as a tech community and definitely cybersecurity, that is something that actually affected us, because we don't see the reason why you should fear on what you are doing or what you are working. So that because there are some of those risks, and when you do your work well, someone comes maybe and kill you definitely. But as the investigations are ongoing, we believe that police will be able to apprehend whoever did that. And we also don't want to maybe insinuate maybe it was a political move and all that. But all in all, the best thing is that Chris Musando had already put a team in place, a system in place. And right now I'm looking at my screen for the results transmission, and they did a superb job. And one thing is that he was able to transfer the knowledge to his juniors and create a very good team that even in his absence, definitely they will deliver credible results. And also, as well as an association, we are going to honor the IT manager with a lifetime honorary award and also membership because of what he has done for our country.
Right, Fred, before you go, there were, in the run-up to the voting proper, there were concerns of fake news, especially for those who are going to vote today. What effect did this have on participation and turnout?
As I had said earlier, there's a Blogger Association of Kenya, and they have at least tried to create awareness to the bloggers, although it has not been well received. So looking at the fake news, the problem, as I have said, is that most Kenyans, they believe bloggers and the blogs even before going to the mainstream media. And the problem with the internet as source of news is that there are facts and there are counterfacts. And the problem with the online platform is that you are unable to verify. So also as an association, for us, we're already setting up a platform whereby if someone is able to pick something from the internet or through social media, and they are not sure whether it's fake or not, they can be able to send us through a free SMS code. And definitely we are going to let them know whether it is a fake news or not. But this is something that has been an over concern lately.
Right, Fred, we're extremely grateful for your time. Thank you very much, Fred Wahome joined us from Kenya. Let's move away from Kenya and back to Ghana. Executives of the People's National Convention, PNC, say the suspension of General Secretary Atiq Mohammed is still valid and they will prevent him from working. The party, in response to a complaint at the Kotobabi police station in Accra, insisted the former party General Secretary was giving a July 28 ultimatum to pack out of the office premises, but he refused.
The embattled PNC General Secretary Atiq Mohammed is challenging the party's National Executive Committee's decision to suspend him on Saturday, July 22. Per the party's constitution, Article 67, Clause 3C, it is a National Disciplinary Committee that is empowered to determine a member's guilt or otherwise and issue an order of indefinite suspension, and not the National Executive Committee. Since his suspension, Atiq Mohammed has been working at the party's office, but on Monday noticed the office keys have been changed to deny him access. The suspended PNC General Secretary quickly filed a complaint at the Kotobabi police station in Accra for investigations. Subsequently, the party leadership was invited by the police over the issue. The vice chairman of the party, Henry Asante, insisted a decision by the National Executive Committee to suspend Atiq Mohammed is still valid. He explained that the suspended party general secretary was given a July 28 ultimatum to pack out of the office premises, but has refused.
NEC is the second highest decision-making body, and NEC has decided. For now, I'm afraid the rule of natural justice might take its course in this case of Atiq Mohammed.
The police is still investigating the complaint by the suspended general secretary.
And in relation to the extension of tenure of the IGP, security analyst Major retired Boakye says the IGP does not deserve an extension. Reacting to the news of his 2-year contract, the ex-soldier says the IGP has superintended insecurity in the country in the 7 months he has been in office.
We can confirm, indeed, that information we're hearing of the extension of the tenure of the IGP for the next 2 years is indeed true, because the hierarchy of the police service has confirmed to us. They say that he started some ambitious programs which warrants his extension. I found out your thoughts about this.
My concern about that kind of reason is that they may have known that he was capable of initiating that ambitious program when he was the IG. At that time, he had only 6 months run on his line. So I cannot accept that for the reason for extension of his age, because how do you know that the others who are equally qualified have done a better job? And that's why we have come to the objective analysis that when you are approaching the shelf line of your appointment, your abilities are beginning to decline. You know, for what he is able to do now, somebody else, much younger, fresher, and with the ability to understand this peculiar form of policing that's going on in our society, he can handle. If you don't appoint a guy 6 months on his appointment age, and then come and tell us that he has initiated a program that he requires 2 years to complete, that is going to be very difficult to say. The plan is not necessarily a response to the security situation in this country, which is tumbling from roadblock to roadblock, yet day in, day out, to the extent that our development partners have found it more or less an edit on the Ghanaian security situation. But something you and me have been talking about over and over again.
And in other news, the Bank of Ghana has cautioned the public against depositing money with Men's Gold Company Limited, an investment company, because it has not been licensed to do so. Answering questions at the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Second Deputy Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama warned clients they do so at their own risks.
The Bank of Ghana took its turn at the second sitting of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament on Tuesday. The Member of Parliament for Gomoa West, Alexander Kojo-Kom-Aban, quizzed the Deputy Governor if they have taken notice of the activities of Men's Gold Company Limited. The second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, told the committee though the company has been given approval by the Minerals Commission to trade in gold, the central bank has no license Men's Gold to accept cash deposit.
There has to be evidence that they are accepting deposits, thereby flouting our regulations. We will have to sit down with the respective agencies, and I've instructed that we need to work together to pin them down. Because if they are licensed to purchase gold, that doesn't have anything to do with us.
He cautioned the public not to make deposits to Men's Gold.
These people are not to accept deposits. If they ask you to give them money, don't give it to them.
The MP for Gomoa West, Alexander Kojo-Kom-Aban, insisted inviting people to purchase gold bars and managing it for them constituted banking. He however called on the Bank of Ghana and the Securities and Exchange Commission to intervene in order to avert a scandal like that of DKM.
They have already promised that at the end of the month, you are going to get so much in return. And in doing that, they do not even tell us whether what they have actually given out is gold, because after all, you are not taking it home. They have not also said what they are even going to do having regard to the price fluctuations on the world market of gold.
And the West African Examinations Council has barred some students who took part in the 2017 West African Senior School Certificate Examinations from taking part in any exams for 2 years for engaging in malpractices. The council, however, says those whose subject papers or entire results were cancelled will have the opportunity to take part in either the November-December private exams or the May-June exams.
The West African Examinations Council withheld the result of 185 schools for alleged examination malpractices. Out of this, 31 schools were found to have been assisted by invigilators. Others were said to have smuggled mobile phones and photocopied answers into the examination hall. The Public Relations Officer of the Council, Agnes Tekujo, said investigations are yet to come to a conclusion. However, some sanctions have been meted out to candidates who have so far been found culpable.
We have cancelled some who have been found culpable, and others also have been let go because we didn't find anything against them. We also had some that needed the approval of the Ghana Exams Committee. Some of the candidates, because they brought in foreign material, had their subject results cancelled. Some also, because they received external assistance, had their entire results cancelled. And we also had some of the candidates who impersonated also having their entire results cancelled. And they were also barred for 2 years.
Though some have the opportunity to rewrite cancelled papers, it is likely this may delay their admission into tertiary institutions or may never get the opportunity to apply to further their education.
Now, if your subject result is cancelled, then you can retake that paper at any time that is convenient to you. Okay. If your entire result is cancelled, you can register and take all your papers at any time that is convenient to you. Okay. If your entire results are cancelled and you are also barred for 2 years, then that is when you have to wait till 2 years before you take any WAEC exam.
She revealed results for this year's basic school certificate examination will be released before the end of this month.
And that's it for News at 10. Thank you for making time to be with us. For those who listen to us on radio, thank you for leaving your dial there. I'm Stephen NT. On behalf of the crew here, good night.